I'm here outside the Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, home of the Jackson State University Tigers football team, which is currently coached by T.C. Taylor in his second year. And this stadium holds a capacity of 60,000. So it's a pretty big arena, or big stadium. 60,000 football fans can fit into this bad boy. It was originally known as the War Veterans Memorial Stadium and was later known as the Hinds County War Memorial Stadium. But it wasn't until 1960 when it was redesigned and enlarged in time for the 1960 Ole Miss versus Arkansas matchup. But it opened in 1950. I forgot to mention that. So this stadium is now closing in on 75 years old, 3/4 of a century of operation. So I can only imagine how it was on game days, especially when Deion Sanders was the coach of Jackson State. Special shout out to Deion Sanders, Coach Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, and Hall of Famer in the NFL, of course. We gotta give a special shout out to Coach Prime because he really put HBCUs on the map as far as on a global scale or on a national scale anyway, as far as getting exposure to HBCUs in their football programs, particularly Jackson State. But now Coach Prime, along with his son Shador and Travis Hunter, they're over there in Colorado. So they're playing on an even bigger stage for a bigger program. Now it did come with some controversy from, I guess, from some people that felt that, you know, he abandoned the HBCU and went to go play for a major program like Colorado. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, so I understand why he would make that move. But overall, this is a nice looking stadium, even though it's 75 years old. So it is obviously showing signs of aging, but it looks pretty decent considering its age, you know. So yeah, Mississippi Vets Memorial Coliseum. I'm over here at LeFleur's Bluff State Park on the banks of the Pearl River off of I-55, and it is a state park that is within the city limits of Jackson. So from the hustle and bustle of downtown Jackson and the city part of Jackson, we're in the quiet state park of LeFleur's Bluff for some peace and quiet. I have officially become a huge fanatic of state parks, and will be incorporating them in many of my future vlogs, as well as doing standalone vlogs with state parks. So be on the lookout for those. But for now, LeFleur's State Park is named for the trading post established on the banks of the Pearl River in the late 18th century by Louis LeFleur, a French-Canadian trader. And the village of LeFleur's Bluff eventually grew to become the city of Jackson. So you have right over here this gathering area. Looks like you could have you know, family gathering or something of that sort over in this area, some form of event. There's also a nature trail. This is a nature trail right along here. They have a playground right there. And there goes the Pearl River right here. And right across the river, over on that plot of land over there, is an RV park. So most state parks, if not all, majority state parks, especially if they're located outside of the city or within the city limits on a lot of acres of land, they'll have an RV park. Place where you can come bring your RV and just camp out and enjoy what nature has to offer. Now we definitely have to give a shout out to the indigenous people of this land, and that are those are the Choctaw Native Americans. They resided right over here, right along this river called the Pearl River. Now the Pearl River itself flows through not only Mississippi, it also flows into Louisiana. It has a length of 444 miles. And Jackson, Mississippi is the largest city that the Pearl River flows through. It flows through many other cities, mostly in Mississippi. It's only like 2 cities in Louisiana which the river flows into. So the majority of the flow is in Mississippi. There's also it's a town in Louisiana called Pearl River. And there's a town in Mississippi called Pearl River as well. It's located in Neshoba County, where Philadelphia, Mississippi is located. So you have the rocks on this trail. You can probably hear my footsteps walking on these rocks. So, and also on the trail, nature trail, you have the Museum of Natural Science, the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science, Trail Museum. So, you know, for nature lovers, you know, you want to take those nature trails. They're really cool to take, but just be extremely careful, of course. Always be aware of your surroundings. This is very relaxing. Sometimes, a lot of times when it comes to spirituality and being tapped in to your inner self, being tapped into the universe and getting in tune with your chakras and everything like that, one thing that I always tell myself is that silence is a lot of times the best noise that you could hear. And you don't even, and you just, you know, a lot of times just the ambient noises are the best noises you could hear, the best sounds you could take in, and very calming and relaxing. And look at this bench right here. And it says Nancy Nicholson, because of her love for Mays Lake and because of our love for her. And it was dedicated by the Medley family, February 12th, 2022. Okay. Oh, that's nice. But yes, for those who are wondering why it's important to get in tune with nature, is because this is all we have. This is all we have at the end of the day. If there's nothing else, you know, before the formation of cities and buses and cars, railroads, trains, all of that, before all of those things, infrastructure was formed, you always had nature. Always had nature. So it's very important to get in tune with it. But yes, the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science, as I read earlier, is part of the nature trail. That'll be a good place if you're into aquariums and the exhibits of nature and the animals and habitat exhibits. That would be a good place to visit, especially if you have children. So the grounds of LeFleur's Bluff State Park look really nice. I mean, you know, you have the river, you have the RV park for those that have an RV. There's picnic areas, there's a couple of grills, so you know, you could have like family gatherings just under the pavilions, just as long as you make reservations ahead of time. You know, you have playground for the kids, actually a couple of playgrounds. So plenty things to do. And again, if you're into nature and you like jogging, walking, biking, then the nature trail is definitely for you. But you guys, that concludes another P9 vlog here from Jackson, Mississippi. I enjoyed my visit to Jackson, Mississippi, and you know, definitely, you know, if you guys plan on visiting, definitely come out and visit. It's a pretty nice city, you know. It has a lot of history, and yeah, pretty cool city to visit. Just be careful in certain parts, just like any other major city. Just be careful, watch your surroundings and all of those things, and you'll be fine. Now, with that in mind, again, thanks for watching if you made it this far. And for those that are new to the channel, please hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And also the notification bell. That way you get notifications every time I drop a new vlog. So with that in mind, good people, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace and have a great day.